parametric. Okay, so for understanding what is parametric and non-parametric test, I think if you guys are familiar with this concept, then I should continue with the provided this. Otherwise, I should explain that. I think I should explain what is non-parametric test or parametric test. Parametric tests are when the our data set is following a normal distribution curve. Okay, and if the data set is following normal distribution curve and they are measured on the continuous and interval ratio scaling, then we apply the parametric test. Other than if our data set is not following parametric distribution, non-normal distribution, and categorize measured on the basis of that uh, um, what should I say, categorical variable, and they're not having any kind of scope for calculating mean, median, and standard deviation, the statistical parametric, then we go for the non-parametric test. That is another set of the tools. Here in this session, we are following the t-test, f-test, z-test, and chi-square test. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. That is the set of test. So first of all, we are going to test the t-test. Okay, t is known also the student test, and the formula. First of all, I'm just introducing you the formula with the whiteboard. T and Z test, little bit introduction. Then I will start with the SPSS file and then how to interpret that. Okay, first t-test. T-test where we are not aware about the population standard deviation and we are working on a sample, small sample, n is less than 30. And in computer, there is no option for Z test. This when your sample size is getting exceeded by 30, then it is automatically converted in Z test. And the formula for this is x minus mu upon x mean minus mu upon standard error, that is sigma upon under root n. This is known as the t-test and Z test. Okay. And there are two kind of t-test, that is one sample test and two sample test. So with the help of the data set, I'm going to explain you. First of all, I'm going to show you the data set. This is basically in Excel, and we can import it from in SPSS directly, or we can copy paste. Just I'm going to show you. This is the data set. I think it is visible to all of you. This is a T1 sample test. Okay, it is the in Excel form. You can directly import this to the SPSS file, or there is another way to import there, that you can simply copy paste this into there, and then you can, because this is not the whole that there are lots of data set, but it is only one thing, and you can put this completely copy paste from this paste to that SPSS file. Otherwise, you can do one more thing. You can completely import the file there. Because in that, SPSS is case sensitive and there are lots of things. So we should take care of that. Key, the data name should be without any space. So there is lots of things, and they can create hindrance to get data imported in this sheet. So basically what we do, we just either you can do two or more things. Okay, you can import data from here. Okay, otherwise You can paste directly in a data set and give the name of that. See, you have this, and here you can define the variable. This is the another way. It was the per capita consumption. Again, because in Excel, I named this variable with the space. That's why I knew, because it was the already fitted data, and that's why I just it was not in, for the purpose of spaces. That's why it was with the space. Otherwise, now you can go to the this part, and you have per capita consumption data set. Okay, this is a condition that whether I have 21 people data, and then I have to check whether these people are in month on an average they are spending money, adequate money on their standard of living or not. One sample test. One sample test is the test when we conduct. I think it is visible to everyone. My screen
Yes,
is visible.
yes,
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when to use one sample test, when to use two sample test, when to use not T or two sample test, other test or ANOVA test. Okay. When we have only one sample and that sample is being, compared with some kind of standard value. Suppose WTO, World Trade Organization, released a report and suggested that each and everybody must. Oh, 1 minute. That I was talking about, suppose that we need to, WTO suggested that every person, actually in a group, they should spend 125 rupees per day on their living of standard. Okay, so in month they need to, on an average, they should spend like a 4,000 or 4,000 to 5,000 rupees in their on their consumption. So this is my data set, and I need to check whether they all are spending enough money on their standard of living or not. Okay, like 4,500 rupees they should spend on their standard of living. So what should be my hypothesis? My hypothesis will be null hypothesis, because in statistics we follow the standard norms of the hypothesis formulation. Then for that purpose, our null hypothesis that this group people, like 21 people of this data set, are spending money on their livelihood or their standard of living equals to 45,000 rupees. As I told you, while formulating hypothesis in a case of comparison, we have to assume that no difference. Okay, that is the null hypothesis. It means they are equal. Okay, so we will assume that these sample of this this per capita consumption, this sample, the collected data, the people are spending 4,500 rupees per month for their standard of living, and I need to analyze this. Okay, so first what we will do, we will go there, compare mean. Okay, in compare mean, here we have one sample T test, and we will take this. Suppose this is my variable and this is measured on a scale, and we need to do this. Okay, options. Confidence interval, of course, we have to decide. As in previous yesterday, someone has asked like a 99% or 95%. Okay, so here, as it is a social phenomenon and without any, there we don't have use control over this, so it will be measured on 95% interval. Okay, then continue, then we will say okay. Okay, just one thing, can you see this output result on the screen?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, then I'm sharing this again. Output result. This is the output result. Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so our hypothesis, now we have we fed the data and we have the uh, output, 95% output. What is the meaning of that? First, one sample statistics, it means per capita consumption. We were having 21 observation with a mean on an average for 59,092. Okay, suppose we need to that is a 59,092 per month consumption. Okay, and then standard deviation, with the standard deviation of 2534, high standard deviation, standard error 553.10814. These are the output per capita, the t value, this is the degree of freedom, and this is the significance level. I told you that the consumption is equals to, here it is two-tailed test. Okay, this is the mean difference and this is the lower bound of the consumption. This is the upper bound of the consumption. This is the output. Now here we need to interpret our result as per our null hypothesis. Null hypothesis was that our consumption is less than is equals to 4,500 or 5,000 rupees, like that. It was our hypothesis. But as p value, see, on the basis of only one thing we can predict our result, that is p value and two-tailed. Here it is two-tailed, so we cannot say whether it is less or more. Okay, it is just, it is stating that we rejected the null hypothesis and we accept the alternative hypothesis. What was our null hypothesis? Null hypothesis was that the sample, the person from that sample, they are spending 4,500 rupees per month for their standard of living. But that is false. They are not spending 45,000 rupees, 4,500 rupees on their standard of living. But instead of that, it could be less than that or more than that. Okay. So with the two-tailed test, it is the only way that whether they can be less than or more than. But with the data, with the mean value and the lower bound and upper bound, we can say that consumption will always be more than the 4,500 thousand, something like that. Is that clear? So it means they are higher group, higher class, high level of society. They are consuming more. Okay, so in that way we can have per capita, one sample t-test with the example of per capita consumption. Is that clear? Then I'm moving toward the next example. It was the one economic example, but it can be applicable. One sample t-test can be applicable in a various field with the various interpretation. So the next one, our next one sample t-test, suppose I'm talking about the per capita income. It was the consumption. Suppose I'm just, I checked on 21 just can you capita income, like that. If you have missed something, then we can go here, because it is in numeric characteristics 8 width and 2 decimal, because it is a continuous data set. Okay, that's why this scale will decide what kind of test you will apply here. If it is in a numeric and you are taking the decimal into the consideration or something like that, then or here you are choosing a scale, then you will apply the parametric test. Okay, here it is in kind of in a crore, something like that. Okay, so I'm just checking out the all are means all person, means this is a one sample of 55 people. Earlier so what is the difference? What I want to tell you with this example, in SPSS there is no scope for Z test or T test. There is no separate things in a t-test or t-test or z-test. This is always about the if it is exceeding more than 30 observation, it automatically get converted into the z-test. Okay, like here it is a 54 observation. Okay, then again we need to do it. Sorry, for the compare means on one sample, because we are doing this one sample t-test. Okay, one sample, it means if we are talking about we need to compare that one sample with some kind of standard value. Okay, in independent, here you have lots of options like one sample t-test, independent samples t-test, paired sample t-test, and one-way ANUVA. These all are tests for the comparing mean and parametric test. Okay, in what we will do in independent sample t-test, I'll let you know. First, we should clear about the one sample t-test, and there is a thin line differences between the paired sample t-test and independent sample t-test. Okay, so first we will discuss about the one sample with this example. Again, per capita consumption, we will just return this in that box, and now we will discuss about the per capita income. Okay, just I want to check whether are it is in kind of 15 crore kind of, then just I want to check whether my population is earning their average income is equals to 15 crore or more than or less than. Okay, in that way. Again, we will do the follows the same things. 95% continue, and then okay. And I'm sharing the output screen. After analyzing that, we get this output window. In the same way, we have here 54 observation, and see, we were not running in a theoretical ground. We were having two separate tests for these two things. For this, the above one, because it was n less than 30. So for that purpose, we were using t-test. But for the next one, we were supposed to use the z-test as we were exceeding the sample size. Okay, so in this, in SPSS, it is automatically extended toward the z-test without any kind of notification. So it is already means it in the in the table, you will get only t value, not a z value. Okay, z value. But on a theoretical ground, this value is known as the z value. Then here per capita income t value and degree of freedom 53. Again, significance level is that. Okay, then we will reject our null hypothesis. On the basis of this p value, we will reject our null hypothesis that average per capita income of the population annual, I'm talking about, that they have 15 crore rupees annually. So this is we will accept our alternative. It is as two-tailed test, but you cannot suggest or you cannot say whether it is less than or more than. But with help of these two lower and upper bound and mean differences, you can say or average value, you can say they are more than 15 crore kind of. Okay, I think I'm clear about this. You should take the another example in one sample t-test. Just related to kind of blood pressure. Okay, the last example for this I'm taking from the medical, because medical issues kind of, because we have several crowd. So I'm just considering each and everybody's interest. So I'm taking another example that is related to the blood pressure and blood pressure of the 40%. Okay, again, here, just wait. 1 minute. Share a screen. I'm sharing this screen. Here it is a blood pressure. Because it is SPSS, it will not take any kind of that illegal character. Here it is again, this is numerical expression and scale, ratio scale, because blood pressure can be in a 0.2. So we are just consider the decimal 0.2. Okay, so this is our blood pressure data, and we can analyze with this. Compare mean, one sample t-test, blood pressure, option. And as it is like a medical issues, and you cannot have lots of uh, confidence interval in this example. Why I have taken this? Because in social sciences or something like that, your significance level can be 95%. Okay, but as yesterday also I explained that where your accuracy is you cannot afford any kind of type 2 error, kind of false acceptance. In that case, you have to change the significance level. Here you have to change 99% confidence interval. Okay, so that's why I took this example. I'm sharing the output window for this explanation. Okay, we have this explanation. One sample t-test again, because blood pressure N39 and degree of freedom 38. Degree of freedom is what here you degree of freedom is the number of observation in your data set which is free from the limitations, which can be automatically calculated. So that's why 38 degree of freedom means 139 minus 1. If 38 observation are known and independent, then 1 can be calculated. This is the meaning of that. And blood pressure, here blood pressure have the average, on an average 107. So as per the medical, our blood pressure should lie between kind of 90 to 120. Okay, 120 should be the maximum one. So I'm here, my assumption is whether the blood pressure, the group of 38 people have on an average blood pressure of, this is my assumption. Okay, null hypothesis. Again, I'm repeating my null hypothesis, and as it is measured on 99%, so this p-value will be compared with 0.01 instead of 0.05. Here, unlike the previous one, in the both example, we examine our hypothesis on 0.05, but here we examine our hypothesis at because it is 99%. Okay, this is the 99%, and at 0.01, this p-value should be less than 0.01 to reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so our null hypothesis was they were statistically equals to 120. Okay, BP. But as we rejected this null hypothesis, it means they are not 120, that sample, the person, the blood pressure of the people from the sample what we have chosen is not equals to 120 mm. Okay, so either because it is two-tailed, so we cannot say whether it is less or less or high. So we said they can be less or they can be high, but they are not equal to 120, not equal to. But here on the confidence level, if that person's BP is light between 101 and 113, it means their blood pressure is significant. Okay, they are in the acceptance region, otherwise they are in the rejection region. So this is the interpretation of the one sample t-test. Okay, this was all about one sample t-test. I'm just repeating again, on the basis of these three outputs, we took three example of one sample t-test. One was there were just little bit differences, diversification, to make you understand why they are, when to use and what to use. Okay, first two example were from the social sciences, like related to your consumption or income. You selected data of, in first cases you selected data 21 sample size, and in another one day 54. But as in a theoretical ground, we were having a different test for both kind of data set. But in a SPSS, it is automatically extended to the Z test in a T test, but it will always be mentioned as T test. It was at 95% level, and on in both way they were significantly null hypothesis were significantly rejected. In the third section, in a third example, we took example of blood pressure, because it is a biological things, and then it is under control, everything is kind of internally governed, regulated within a body. So they are there are a highly standardized parameter for blood pressure. So we change our confidence level at 99% significance interval, and on that basis we check that whether our sample have on an average blood pressure of 120 mm or not. Here again, after analysis, we rejected null hypothesis, that is 0.00, and suggested that they have different, okay, they have different level of the blood pressure in that group, in a sample group. I think I have make you clear about the t-test. If in case of any doubt, you can ask me in the last session, last time of the session. Next one is, next I'm talking about the t-paired sample test. Okay, paired, as it is suggested, t-paired. Or when to use that? For that particular reason, we must have two sample data, two data samples to compare each other. Here we were comparing with one standard we were comparing with one standard value. In a different one, in a another one, like the name suggests, in analyze, I think still the screen is visible. I think I didn't stop this, so you can see here one sample t-test, independent sample t-test. Okay, here test variable. Okay, suppose they both are different kind of group. So we can do that. Grouping variable, like which just differentiate. Just I'm giving you example. Okay. Define group, we have to define it. Group 1, group 2. Just later on we will discuss about it. But before that, just I want to make you clear. There is a difference, because in this we were having only one sample. Okay, so in this we were just using one. We have only one test variable. But here, unlike this, in these two, in a paired sample two, we should have two variable. Okay, we must have two variable, and in this two independent sample test, we must have test variable and grouping variable. It means this group will decide 1, 0, 1 means what you have coded in that. So our data set will be different for these two tests. So I'm just moving toward the next. Okay. For paired sample test and two independent sample tests. I'm stopping this. The next, there will be new SPSS file for this purpose, that we are doing t-paired test. Mostly we do t-paired test, not independent. Means independent test we do in our study. We mostly do the experiment and we draw same sample. We draw sample from the same population. So we mostly refer to the t-paired test, two-pair test. So next, data set is just, I'm closing this, and we will have new file. It is getting open, just it is taking a little bit time. One minute. The fuel price. Okay, this is the first data set. It is a volume of petrol. Second one is the price of the petrol. Third one is the average price of the petrol in that area. Okay, and this is the the same company is having petrol pump in a site A and site B. Okay, this is the data set. This is the explanation of our data set, and each and every scale is on the ratio scaling. They all are measured on the quantitative scaling, not on the ordinal or nominal scaling. Okay, so it is clear that we will apply, this is my data set for that, and the N is, we have enough data like a 353 observation about what is the case for this data set. There's a one company, suppose Indian Oil or HP, and this is kind of data set. They have kind of volume sale for a particular price, and they have average price for that uh, for that company ki how for that fuel, their product, two areas like a site area, same company is selling in a two areas. Okay, and then they are quoting their prices. So I want to check whether the same company has having the same company, that's what we have a similar price strategy or not. This is the we can do lots of another, in this data set we can do lots of other testing kind of regression, like whether the sales volume is getting affected by their pricing strategy and then their average pricing strategy. Okay, in this kind of way. And so here in site A, the question is, my hypothesis is whether this company, suppose I'm taking the example of Hindustan Petroleum, that owner is adopting similar pricing strategy in both areas. Then for that purpose, we will have our null hypothesis that petrol pump or petrol owner, fuel owner will have same pricing strategy. Okay, what will be our null hypothesis? That they have same pricing strategy inside A, inside B. So how to analyze that thing? Okay, analyze, compare me. Here, instead of one sample test, or see, we have three things, okay, 3 to 4 things. Then how to decide and what to choose? Paired sample t-test. Paired sample, it means your branch should be, if it is said that they are both different companies, and then suggest that means we have to compare that both company have same pricing strategy or not, then we might have chosen this test, independent sample t-test. But here our parent company is same, one sample, we are picking samples, like two things from one same things. Okay, one same origin. So we will check paired sample t-test. What we will do, site A, we will drag site A variable and site B. Okay, As per our requirement, if we are taking another one, then we can do it. And in option, we can do 95% and then continue and then okay. This is our output. Is it visible? Should I explain this?
Yes, it is visible, ma'am.
Okay. So here we have pair one, site A, means from one company, we have two sites. Okay, that is site A and site B. We are comparing these two. Okay, then next one. The first, there are three tables. In a first table, we are given the detail of descriptive statistics, that is mean and standard deviation and standard error. In a second one, paired sample correlation. It means they have it because means if we have clicked over that correlation, then they will give you the correlation too. It means the site A and site B, they are highly correlated with each other and significantly because the p-value is less than 0.05. We set the p-values at 0.05. Okay, 95% confidence interval, then our significance level is 0.05. Then the last table, paired sample test. This is explaining the final result, means on the basis of what you have to interpret your result, that is significance level. Again, this t value and this p value just will suggest you whether you can accept or reject the null hypothesis. Here, p value is less than 0.05. Here, p value is less than 0.05, which indicate that we need to reject our null hypothesis and suggested that there is differences between the pricing strategy of these two sites. In a site A and in site B, they have significant differences. Is that clear? I think it is clear to everyone. And these three tables are depicting. First one is depicting the descriptive statistics of the pair one and pair two, and in a two it is depicting, the kind of their correlation level. It means their interrelationship. And in a third one, it is explaining the differences in mean value, whether they are having similar pricing strategy or not, whether we can accept or reject the null hypothesis. So on the basis of that, we can reject the null hypothesis and we can, okay. So in this one, in this context, we have another data set. T-pair test. That is, if we talk about the hospital, okay, two hospitals in a same city, like a public, like if we are talking about the, suppose I'm talking about one company, just they are just providing, there is, okay, in case of that, I will, as you have doubt in paired sample t-test, then I can clear it out in the last. Okay. Hello. So I'm just responding. Yes, I will clear this out in a very last point, because I have lots of practical like female empowerment in that way. Okay. So in this way, we can do this, or we can say in a we have two hospitals A and B, and then we need to check their efficiency level. It means their bed, they have equal bed facilities in hospital or not. Okay, we are examining in the second example. We are taking files of, we are taking like kind of 387 observation in the file. Okay, new data. I'm just opening that. As it will be open, then I will. Scale. Yeah. Oh, it got. Oh, it got cancelled. Just wait. I'm doing again. This is the another example in which okay. So I'm explaining you another one. That is my another screen. How to define the independent one. Okay. This was the independent. Compare mean and independent sample t-test. Just in a next one, I have data set in this way because I have in a Excel. So I have in this way hospital A and hospital B, and here is a group of variable. As you can say, in analyze, we have things in this way. What we required in this for testing these the test variable and variables and grouping variables and okay, because I was provided data in that way. So first of all, for analyzing this kind of thing, first of all, I have to merge these two data. Okay. I have to prepare data for that particular test. Because whenever you are going to test the data set, you will be given in a form of like, we can say, in a form of their convenient. Okay. From till here, it was kind of one hospital, and that was another hospital. If I'm talking about group variable, one city and another city, or hospital A or hospital B, you can code here. Okay, one. Why I'm taking this example? In a previous one, we had data from the same area. Means the owner was same. Here, they are different, and we have different areas, hospital A and hospital B. So we are just examining. They are two independent sets. Means they are not from the same population. Okay, so that's why we are taking this example. For that purpose, first of all, we need to fill the requirement, because in Excel form they have different kind of, you know, or we can just put the range in Excel for analyzing t-paired test. Here we need to define the groups. Okay, so we are doing this. Till here it was hospital A, 1111. Oh, I have to do this 111111 like this. Okay, instead of that I wanted to print it, but it is not getting that in that way. Just it will be over sooner or later. We can do this. I think after that we can do, for example, this we are putting example, so we can do it. After that we can put the second hospital number. Second, 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 two, two, and paste it. This is for independent. Okay, rest data we should delete or for making uniform. But in real life, then you have to make this, you have to code in that way, because you have already that data set coded, then you, okay, you can manipulate in that way. But here, as it was in Excel and okay, so here I'm done with that, and after that I'm just going to clear it out, because it won't take the missing value. So in this, just make sure there's no missing value in the data set. For that purpose, here in variable group, it is a numeric value, and it is just without any decimal, discrete number. And here you have to provide the values to the variable. One is for hospital A, and 2 is for hospital B. And okay, and this is the nominal variable. And data view, go to analyze, then compare mean, independent sample t-test. In hospital A, I shifted all the data, and then this will be in group variable, and define group variable. Group A is the hospital A1, okay, and in group 2 you have 2. Then continue, okay, then okay. Here is your output. Group statistics, hospital A, hospital B, how many hospitals were there in hospital, means in how many the observation we have for hospital A and hospital B, and what are the mean value for their bed. The cases, I'm going to repeat this case again with that. Stop sharing. Just sharing that first of all this data set. The case is we have given 2 hospitals, A and B, and we are asked that whether they have same number of bed facilities or not. Okay, and this is a case of independent sample test. Okay, independent sample test, it means the samples, the population area is completely different. Hospital A is from the different area, hospital B is from the different area. We have this data, hospital A and hospital B, but as per the requirement of our SPSS tool, because in R or other software they will take this in that way, but here you have to define the group. Okay, so this is in this variable, you can say this is the total beds, you can write the beds. Okay, okay, so here it is a bed and it is a group 1 or 2. So for that purpose, you need to go in a compare mean, because it was a case of independent sample test, and in that way we shifted beds because we want to check beds. Okay, and on the basis of what group variable, that is define group 1 or 2. We have only 2 groups, then 1 or 2, and then options we can say suggest here 95%, and then continue, and then okay. After getting clicking on okay, we have our test results. So what we can conclude on the basis of that, our p value is higher than 0.05. See, 0.79 and 0.792, they are more than 0.05. It means we will accept our null hypothesis. We will accept our null hypothesis that the both hospital have same bed facilities. Okay, so this is like here also for this F value and significance value is 0.217. Okay, this is also more than 0.05. each p-values are more than 0.05, then we can conclude that we will accept our null hypothesis and conclude both hospital they do not have any kind of significant differences in their bed facilities. This was test for two independent sample tests. That's why I'm telling you here we have differences between paired sample test and independent sample test. Okay, this was the example for independent test and the previous one was the paired sample test. I think I'm clear about this now. I am moving toward the next one. Okay, next example in this context, like if anybody has female empowerment, this is a completely a kind of, what should I say? This is the completely sociology work, and I have taken three groups, three independent, okay, group: rural female, urban female, and town female. Okay, so this is given in this form. Data is given in this form. Why I am just taking the origin of the data set? Because you will be, whenever you will be provided with the data set, it is not in the form of like as it can be fueled in the SPSS. You have to make that data as per the software requirement. Okay, so we have given this kind of data set: rural, urban, and town female. Okay, we are given that whether means we are means we ask like how you scale your decision making power. Scale this from 1 to 10. Okay, this was our analysis thing. Okay, this is our analysis thing that you have to compare three areas, women, and they're from the different population: rural population, urban population, and town population. So actually what kind of test you will suggest in this? Completely you are going to without any doubt independent sample speed test. Okay, otherwise there is also one way ANOVA test. Okay, because we have dependent list and factor list if we have more than that, but here we are taking we are just experimenting. I just want to tell you what will happen if you will do that, why these are the tests. Okay, one, these are the several tests, categorized tests. If one is failed, then two is there, second one is there as options to analyze your things. Okay, so when we have only one sample and then we limited with the, when we come with the two samples, then we got okay what we need to do. Then again T sample test came with the a test of a paired sample test, but that was for the same population. But again, what if both samples are from different population? Then we came with the independent sample test. Now the condition is if they are more than two population, more than two areas, like from the independent population, sorry, from independent population and more than two population, then what we need to do? Okay, again in that, as we will be given data in that way. Okay, raw data. Suppose if you are using the secondary data set, we are dealing with that, we are given the secondary data set and we have to set data as per the requirement of SPSS input things. So again you have to make in a SPSS, you have to make one column that is for the variable that is for the female decision, female underscore decision, and another one is the reason factor. Another one. Okay, both are in numerical nature, but they both are in discrete in nature. They cannot be in a point wise. So we will arrange here. Is it visible?
Yes, please continue.
Okay, it is visible now. So again here, because they were in discrete form, we cannot say, but here we have to change the scale. This is the ordinal and this is the nominal. Okay, then data view, we have female and then we have their decision. Suppose we have 80 data set there, 80 data set. These data are the part of my survey. I just conducted one survey. That's why from there I collected this data set. And a town area was like the semi-urban areas, and rural areas are like who are like at a distance of from the city, like 100 or 200 kilometer, and the main city was like Dehradun kind of. So on that basis, I just we had this data set, and just wanted to show you how they are different or same. Just wanted to know whether they are same in their decision making power or not. And as it is a sociology example, it is completely example of sociology, then I want to know means what will be our confidence level. 9, we can suggest 10% confidence level too. We can check at 90%. So in this time, I will experiment. I will check at 10% significance level. What will be our result? What can be changes there? Variation. Select different level of. Okay. Again, we have this kind of data set, or we can, because we have three areas. So in reason, we will do 3 areas. Okay. We will do 3 areas, like one for areas, rural areas, 2 for urban areas, 3 for semi-urban areas, like that. I just want to check this. So just first you need to keep in your mind which kind of in what form you have data, you are having data. In second things, what kind of data structure your software is asking. Then you need to transform your data into that form only. Okay. So I am just putting the areas code. The last one was the urban. 2 we have, then 3 we are going to code. And the third is implying the rural areas, town area, like semi-urban area, you can say. And we have total 173 observation. Okay. So next thing you have to do in a variable view, you have to define the values, factors, like one for urban areas, add, second for town areas or rural areas. In my study, rural area, I just assume that. In third, it was for town area or semi-urban areas. Add. Okay. So we have this data, and we can again go to analyze section, analyze part. Compare mean. They're independent sample test, but basically they are for 2 pair. Okay, when we have 2 independent samples, but when we have more than that, we get to have open, means one-way ANOVA factor. Okay, so here female decision will be dependent list and reason will be the factor. Okay, and then here if we want to check for the another one options for deciding the descriptive statistics, whatever you want, otherwise you can go just okay. Here are the results. These are the independent sample test here, kind of, right? This is the p-value. P-value. The area is having a significant impact over their decision-making power or not. Okay. So it is p-value 0.346. 0.05 if we are talking about 0.05. Okay. Then what will be our decision? Our decision will be we will reject our null, we will accept our null hypothesis because it is less than 0.05. Okay, it means all areas women have no significant difference in their decision making power. They have similar decision making power. Okay, they are not getting differentiated on the basis of reason, or you can say, you can conclude reason is not having any kind of significant impact on women decision making power. Okay, this is kind of one way, or you can say simply when you compare three groups or more than three groups, you can compare more than that groups. Okay, just what will happen if we will do it with this defined group, because it is having only two group things. We have in defined group, we have only two space. Okay, group 1 and group 2. We are not having group 3. This is our limitation. That's why we had to move to the next one-way ANOVA test. I think I am clear why I choose these things. One way, three groups, two groups, independent groups. I think I'm clear about that. Okay. Next, today's topic is, I'm moving toward the next one. This was all about T-pair test. Okay. And you will say that is ANOVA, then it is not about T, it is saying F. Okay. But Fisher has introduced that when we are limited with the two sample, because it was three sample now, so we have to compare 1, 2, 2, 3 and 3, 1. Just I'm stopping this. I think this output window is visible to you. You can see this F value, one-way ANOVA value, and 3, 4, 6.
No, ma'am, output is not visible.
Okay. Output is not visible. Okay. Okay. In a postdoc or something like that, when we are going to ANOVA postdoc test, this is the experiment when before and after testing. Okay, that is known as a postdoc test, and it is not in the syllabus, but yes, still for your future reference, I'm just telling you that is postdoc test. Okay, I'm just summarizing all the three types of whatever I did in front of you. This is ANOVA. This is the result of that analysis of those three comparisons. Okay, this is a between group within the group. We have three groups. Okay, that's why degree of freedom we have 3 minus 1, that is 2, and we have the p-value 0.346, which is indicating that we have to accept our null hypothesis because it is less than 1. If it would have less than 0.05, we would have rejected our null hypothesis and accepted the alternative hypothesis. That means they have different level of decision making power. But here, as we have to accept our null hypothesis on the basis of this p-value, it means we have to accept that the region, like whether they are from rural areas, from the urban areas, or from the town areas, they have the similar decision making power. Their condition is not different from anywhere. So these are the samples, these are the tests for one sample test comparing mean, basically one sample, two sample independent test, pair test, and three sample. What is the difference between two sample and three sample? Why we moved to the F value? Why computer, this SPSS package has just reflecting this F value? Because Fisher has introduced this concept when he was limiting that between two variables, between two groups. Just I'm stopping this, and I'm just sharing one kind of, just I would like to express in a whiteboard, what is the difference between these two. Okay, here are all drawing. Just in a one sample t-test, we are having one data, and between that average, we are comparing with that, whether it is on that or not. In a T paired, we have same origin, like we were talking about the site A price strategy, site B price strategy for a company. Okay, because the parent company was same, then there we selected paired sample test. But when we have different area, okay, suppose one area and then hospital bed wala example I quoted here to compare two areas for the, comparison. In that we have to take factor 1 and 2. In input 2, he will ask only for group 1 or group 2, not more than that. But in the case of 3, at like the last example, rural areas, urban areas, and the semi-urban areas, 3 areas women. Okay, then what we need to do, this is also a kind of t-test. Okay, but first they are comparing these two kind of women, then they are comparing these two women, then they are comparing these two women, then they are just concluding remark whether you have to accept or reject. As in this example, we have to accept our null hypothesis because this is greater than 0.05. Okay, and we will accept our null hypothesis. They are equally, the three, the women belongs to these three reasons, they have similar kind of decision making power. Okay, this was all about the t-pair test. Now today's last topic is chi-square test, completely different. Okay, so I'm stopping this, I'm just moving toward the next data set, that is chi-square test. Okay, dependency, basically it is for the dependency analysis. Income and performance. First example is just depicting, it is for 28, and in chi-square there is no limitations for the kind of, sample. You can use it at any level. I'm just opening the data set and then you will get that. But in case somewhere it is also suggested, okay, somewhere it is also suggested that if the sample size is more than 50 or 100, 200, then you can directly go for the correlation test. Okay, so it is assumption, but mostly means if you will go for the chi-square test, then it is okay. Actually, I will always prefer, like, this chi-square test if they are non-parametric, means non-parametric test. Income class and performance. This is the what should I say, this is the hypothesis test data set. First is for income class and their student performance. This is our data set. I am just sharing with you this my screen. Just let me know whether you can see this or not. This is my screen. I think it is visible. This is my data set, which is which is depicting the two variable, income class and class performance. Want to check whether the income class is affecting the student's class performance or not. So because we are importing data from Excel, so they are in a number form completely. But here you have to categorize the data set. Decimal is 0, and here in value, income class 1 is for high or low class. Second for middle class. I think it is visible. Screen is visible.
Yes, it is visible, ma'am.
Okay. At third, it is like a higher class. Because when you will import data from Excel, you will get data in this form. Okay, but in SPSS, you have to code. In a class performance, you can say average, poor. Sorry, here 1 is for poor performance. 2 is performance. 3 is for good performance. 4 is for very good performance. And doing this chi-square test. And 5 is for excellent performance. Okay, this is my data set now. And they all are on ordinary. Okay, so in data view, if you will go for the view and value level, you will get this. You will have all the details. So analyze, table, cross tab. And here you have to row and column decide in a chi-square test. In statistics, chi-square, or you want to go for a nominal, ordinal, whatever you want, but chi-square is okay. And then continue. And then okay. This is output window. I think you can see this. This is the chi-square result. Here is the case processing summary. It means 27, 100% were valid, and both are. Here's a poor, average, good, very good, excellent. They have categorization of that in account. Okay, like class performance, low, the students who were and have a poor performance are means 2 students are there, and the student who are low class and having an average performance are 2, and the good low category and having an excellent performance are 2. In this way, they have given you the data set. Okay, and after that, this is the chi-square test output, the last one. Arrow is marked. Here it is 0.839. Likelihood ratio is 0.7. Have to check this Pearson chi-square test, that is 0.839. Again, it is more than 0.05 value. If it is more than 0.05, then what we need to do? We need to accept our null hypothesis. And in this case, what will be our null hypothesis? Null hypothesis will be that they both have, like, income class have significance dependency between each other, but we are accepting this. There is no significance dependency between the income class and class performance of the student. Okay, means whether he or she is from good economic background or bad economic background, so it doesn't matter. It won't affect the it won't affect the your class performance. This is the chi-square interpretation. Okay, this was the first kind of chi-square, means like you can say this is a uh, uh, non-parametric test, completely depending on the frequency analysis and suggesting you for your hypothesis, acceptance and rejection, and your interpretation of the result. This was one example. Okay, as time is like it is going to be 7 o'clock, then one more example I have. So I have two more example, and one was in the for the chi-square test. In this regard, I have one more: blood pressure and weight. Okay, blood pressure and weight, means in this my assumption is whether blood pressure is high, low, means I have categorized, because this is the speciality of the chi-square test. Okay, this is the speciality that it will, for the categorical variable or qualitative variable. For the quantitative variable, we have different kind of test, that is a correlation. Okay, but for this dependency test, we have this chi-square. Then it is in that previous one, when we were applying t-test, the TP were measured, it got measured in point wise, 120, 90 or something like that. But here we have categorized the blood pressure categories, like a low blood pressure, normal blood pressure, or high blood pressure. In the weight too, normal weight, okay, overweight, or three categories in both. Okay, so this is my data set. I'm going to tell you. And here the variable, your BP and weight. Just I want to check, this is a medical term, that whether they both are interrelated or not. Stop. I think it is visible, my screen, SPSS screen. I think it was visible to you all guys. So I am just, because whenever you will import data from the Excel, you have to adjust the values. Okay, here low, middle, higher. Instead of that, you can at 1. This is the under low BP. Okay, low BP and normal BP, and at 3rd it will be high BP. Okay, in the same way, in weight, I have to keep only 3 categories. At 1, underweight. In 2, normal weight. In 3, overweight. Okay, this is my data set. Okay, again, I need to do that in that way. Analyze, go to compare, descriptive statistics. Here we will go for the cross tabs, and then chi-square, BP and weight we have. And statistics, we have to check on chi-square. Okay, then continue, then okay. We have again our result. Here BP and weight, having a 27 observation and 100% valid cases, no missing values, because it is a, if there will be any missing value, you have to first replace those missing value with the help of median method or mode method or average method. Here is the count cross tab, low BP, and then they were underweight, 5 people were there, and with the low BP and normal weight, there were 4 people, but low BP and overweight, there were 1 people. Visible. So again, I'm sharing this. I think now it is visible to all of you. In this, we have again, first table is summary. In your research report, you are not supposed to include this part, but yes, the rest of two part you have to support, you have to include in your report, research report. You can do the percentage analysis too if you have less material to present, but mostly we just go for this part. Pearson chi-square value at degree of freedom 4, we have 0.167 value. This is again more than 0.05 value, and suggested that what you need to do, you have to accept the null hypothesis. It means blood pressure and weight is not having any kind of dependency with each other. They are independent from each other. Okay, any means there is no relationship between blood pressure or weight of the person. So this is our kind of chi-square. When we check our qualitative variables and their dependency with another qualitative variables. This was all about today. And I tried to, quote maximum examples to make you understand things. Now I welcome your questions. Any question?
No, ma'am.
Everything is clear? Check only one direction test. Suppose I'm talking group A and group 2. They both are equal or not? In null hypothesis, we are assuming they both are equal to each other. But in alternative, we are talking that they are not equal to each other. So in two-tailed, we are just analyzing they are equal to or not. We are not analyzing that whether G1 is greater than G2 or G2 is greater than G1. Okay, we are just considering their inequality, whether they are equal or not equal. In one direction, one tail, whether in one tail, we are having a specific instruction that whether it is leftward, in question it will be mentioned that this group 1 performance is less than 0.5 or 50%. This is one tail test. But if you are just considering the non-equality, inequality thing, then it is two-tail test. I think I'm clear about this. Is it clear to you? Yes, okay. Thank you.